Viewer AWPO7 Jr. made a suggestion. Do a quick standalone video for the tips in the beginning for the keybinds and patch preparation so people can find those tips. What a wonderful suggestion. Anything that I can do to confuse you more with the 300 million new keybinds in the 3.24.2 is a pleasure for me to do. So let's get on with it. First of all, let's check some important game settings. First thing is the Starmap zoom speed. So you can use this slider to adjust how slow and how fast you zoom in and zoom out of your star map. I do suggest to set it at a lower value. I use 20. This setting is not new, but there is a new hidden feature in it. With that setting, you can easily control the zoom in and zoom out of your star map. If you zoom into your current location, whatever your radar detects, some of the information will show on your star map as well. Sometimes you see a player ship passing by, you don't want to be impolite and target that ship to see the name of that player, because some player names will not show up on their ship. That's definitely a player ship in the hot sea. So if you go to your mobiGlass star map, without targeting those ships, you just select those ships on your star map. You can see the player name of that ship. This one is Pot Trash. Okay, it's a cool name. This one is Rhino Sephiroth. This is DI4. So you can see the name of those ships. But on this page, it doesn't tell you what ship he or she is flying. Next, we have two groups of new game settings. The first group of settings is right under star map zoom speed. These are nothing new, but if you have set these settings before in the 3.24.2, they will all be reset to default because I think CIG just renamed these things. The words are really long, as if 3.24.2 is not confusing enough. So only read the words after the options. So this one is auto precision, coupled, ESP, and gravity compensation. These four, I leave them default yes. And then G-Safe, default is no. I learned this from Avenger 1. And G-Safe disabled by boost, yes. Cruise mode, I leave it off because I'm using a HOTAS. If I'm using keyboard and mouse, I probably will leave it on. Space break engage boost, yes. I believe the default is no, so check this. If you want to engage boost while hitting space break, then set it to yes. Also this one, speed limiter enabled. I set it to no because I'm using a HOTAS. It's easier for me to use my controllers. But if using keyboard and mouse, you can set it to yes. And the keybind for speed limiter setting in the coming new patch is changed. I will explain that later. The next one is proximity assist enabled. I turn it off. And extended info enabled. Okay, I think this is something new. I'm gonna set it to yes and then see what are those extended info later. So for the extended info, we also have this choice under configuration on your MFD. So if I turn it off, you can see there is some information right here just disappeared when I turned on, and this information right here just turn it on. So this information is your current speed and how many G you're pulling. The second group of changed settings are right under weapons fallback convergence distance. This one also has been reset. So I'm gonna set my desired weapon convergence to about 300. That's it. So check your setting for this when patch goes to live. Now let's take a look at these settings one by one. First is the weapons magnified UI and weapons precision lines, and at the bottom right here, weapons fading pips. So you can choose by default, you want this on or you want this off. My magnification on, precision line on, and the weapon pip fading off. And also weapons single pip, I'm gonna turn it on as well. I'm going to target a ship, for example this one, Hot Sea. The default pip is a very small circle without the precision lines, and if you get away from the target, the pip will automatically fade. And if your weapon have different firing speed, it will give you different pips, a lot of pips. But now, I don't have to use any keybind anymore. Every time I target an enemy, my crosshair is always a magnified pip with precision lines, and it will not fade, and it's one firing weapon pip group. So this is such an improvement, a nice work by CIG. I love it. Now the rest is the weapon staggered fire. I left it on. It's easier because I'm using cannons most of the time, and most of the time I also use lag pips, so I turn it on. However, if you still want to use keybinds instead of game settings for these settings, you still have the option to do so. So simply go to your keybinds. Under vehicle weapons, you still can find these keybinds: cycle fire mode, stagger combined, toggle lead or lag pip. Especially here, pip combination type, pip precision line toggle, pip fading toggle, and gunnery UI magnification toggle. And you also have the convergence distance that you can set to increase or decrease. The next setting, which is not new, but I'm gonna mention it because it's very important. At the very bottom, scroll all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth to the last is emission HUD display signature values. Always leave this on, because once you leave it on your MFD here, you can see your signature, infrared, EM, and cross-section. You can see the values instead of a bar. Now, let's move on to the keybinds. The first new keybinds are weapon group keybinds, which is new for the 24.2 patch. For example, I'm setting some weapon groups here. Use your mouse wheel up and down to select different weapon groups. Remember, the computer programming language is a little different than the language we use day to day, because in the computer programming world, the number usually starts with 0. 0 is 1. So the weapon group 0 showing up on your screen is your actual weapon group number 1. And then 1 is 2, 2 is 3, 3 is 4. You can change it by scrolling your mouse wheel up or down. Because of this change, it also affected your speed limiter. So the new keybind for your speed limiter is left Alt and then use your mouse wheel. On top of my left MFD, you can see my speed limiter is changing, the 2 lines. However, this will also change your weapon group. There is no way that I can separate these. I tried every way I can. I just cannot separate these 2 keybinds. And by the way, the weapon groups can also be changed by number key 1, 2, 3, and 4. So a good practice is every time after you use left Alt and mouse wheel to reset your speed limiter, always use the number key to select back your desired weapon fire group. And here are the specific keybinds for setting weapon groups. Under vehicle weapons, scroll down, you can see keyboard and mouse default weapon group is number 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can choose different keybinds for this. However, something I think CIG just added in the latest PTU patch, this was not here in the first 3.24.2 PTU. But after the feedback from us, I think they added this. So the added keybinds, which you can use to directly fire your weapon group 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. It's like your primary trigger button, secondary trigger button, and then third and 4. So I'm gonna use my joystick to test this. I set 3 buttons for fire guns group 1, 2, and 3. Now go back to my Saber Raven. I'm gonna set weapon groups 1 weapon, 2 second weapon, and group 3, and fire both weapons. Now I'm gonna pull my first trigger, and then my secondary trigger, fire weapon groups 2. That's my left weapon. Now, my third trigger is firing all of these weapons. This is such a great improvement. If you don't know about this, now you know. This little thing actually shows how much CIG listens to us. Not all the time, but they do listen to us. And if my friend Starbuck is watching this, she is really particularly about this feature. So I think she's gonna be really happy about this. Next new keybind under vehicle weapons is specific keybinds for your EMP, quantum jammer, short range, or quantum snare. So I'm gonna set one keybind for the EMP. First of all, my EMP generator is on. I can manually turn off in power management section. So now I turn it on and then I press the keybind. Nothing happens. But the good thing is you can manage your EMP generator easily under your weapon group section. Fire group 1 is one EMP generator, fire group 2 is second EMP generator, and fire group 3 is both EMP generators. So I choose fire group 1. Now only one EMP generator is turning on. One bubble, you can see that. And if I select fire group 3, now 2 of my EMP generators are turning on. And release. Nice, I'm hitting my own shield. Ooh, my shield just got taken down by the EMP pulse. The next few new keybinds under vehicles weapons are the set quantum jammers, set quantum snares, and set QEDs. I don't know what exactly is QED, but I'm trying the Mantis with the quantum snare and quantum jammer here. So when I press the keybind, on my screen it says 5 QEDs and 4 QEDs, but I don't think it's functional yet. So if you want to turn on your quantum jammer and snare, simply set the QED into a different weapon group. So if you want to turn on your QED on the Mantis, simply go to your power management and manually select this. And then you have to give it sufficient power. When you turn it on, it's opening up. After you're opening up the QED compartment, simply choose the fire group which you set your QED at, and then press the primary trigger to trigger it. Now the quantum jammer is on, but how do you turn on the quantum snare? I have no idea. 3.24.2 also changed how we do precision targeting in combat. For example, this ship I'm targeting at, before we have a keybind for it to enter into the precision targeting mode. But right now, you simply click right mouse button, one click, and you enter the precision targeting mode. Another click, you zoom out. However, if you hold down your right mouse button, I'm holding it down. Now, you can zoom all the way to 100%, but you have to keep holding it. If you let go, it will go back to normal mode. So when you click right mouse button, you enter into precision targeting mode. Your zoom right now is 88.88, but if you want to zoom 100x, you simply need to hold your right mouse button again. And if you let go, it will go back to 88.88. And then right mouse click again, you go back to normal mode. Another keybind for this is, and I need a flying target. I don't see a flying target, so I'm just gonna hit the ship and make it move. Oh! That's a that's a little too much. I was trying to avoid explosion in at least one of my videos, and I failed. Okay, I brought my alt account. So when you are in precision mode and you hit right alt with right mouse button, this will give you a auto tracking for your enemy ships. Now, if I move the enemy ship, you can see your Corsair is kind of tracking a little bit. It's not very well. You have to move it with it. And you hit right alt with right mouse button to release from that auto tracking. Now, if I move the ship, you see your Corsair is not really tracking with the ship. If you want to find keybind for this, find vehicle views and scroll to the very bottom. Here are the new keybind that's added for the coming patch. ADS toggle. stable max zoom hold, or ADS cycle tracking. The next set of keybinds are for your MFDs. And then when you click this open, it's gonna overwhelm you. So first set of keybinds for MFD are these movements: up or down, left and right. By default, there is no keybinds for this PTU patch, but I am going to add it. So I'm gonna use WASD, but with a modifier, left alt, and short press for MFD movement up and MFD movement down, alt S. Left, alt A. Oh, I'm getting attacked. Oh, I got a crumb stats 3, no wonder. I'm flying away. Okay, I'm gonna go to my favorite meditation place to continue this video. I'm a wanted criminal now, so I'm gonna have to hide myself here. Okay, regarding the MFD keybinds. So for this ship, I only have 2 MFDs, but the principle is the same. Look at this bar, it says scanning here. This is a solid blue, and this bar right here is gray. It's hard to distinguish, but if I move my MFD around, left alt, A and D, you can see the color changes. So which means I am using the left alt WASD to control which MFD I am manually selecting. You cannot use your mouse to select the MFD. See, by clicking the scan, it doesn't get selected. And of course, you can use your mouse to select which page you want for the specific MFD. So after using my keybind, left alt WASD to select the MFD I want, then I can use left alt Q or left alt E to select the specific MFD page I want to show on my selected MFD. I'm just gonna try to confuse you as much as I can right now. And this keybind you can find over here at the very top, MFD cycle page, forward and backwards. Short press. This is default. Left alt E and left alt Q. Now, if you scroll down, you see this MFD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are the specific MFD you can select by setting a keybind. You know what? Let's do a test. I'm gonna set this one as number 1, MFD 1 with number 1, and MFD 2 as number 2. Okay, now let's go back to the ship. I'm gonna hit 1 and 2. Now I see what it is. MFD 1 is the MFD on my left. If I hit 2, that is selecting the MFD on my right. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so that's that. I'm actually gonna set some keybind for this, but I'm gonna use long press because short press is for weapon groups. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. In case if some ships will have 5 MFDs or 6 MFDs like the Drake ships. Now, moving on is this. You can set the specific page for the MFD. You have these: self status, target status, scanning, vehicle configuration, communication, IFCS, diagnostics, and resource network. What these does is by press the specific key, you go directly to that specific page. For example, I'm gonna set self status to number 6, but long press. Target status, number 7, long press. Scanning, 8, long press. Okay, go back to the ship. So by long press, I select MFD 1, which is my left MFD. Now I'm gonna go to the self status page. I'm gonna long press number 6. There we go, self status. And then long press 7 is target status, and long press 8 is scanning. So here we go. You can set specific keybind for selecting the specific MFD and specific keybinds for selecting the specific MFD page. Wow. Is there anything more confusing than this? But it's actually quite convenient if you can manage to find another keyboard for all these new keybinds. It's not over yet. Let's go back to the MFD keybinds. There's something called MFD Cast right here. So I select left MFD Cast, long press, left alt 1. and select right MFD Cast long press left Alt 2. So what it does is if I press the keybind for my left MFD Cast, which is the holographic image on the top left corner of my screen. So if I hit Alt, oh, I think I just selected my weapon. Oh man. Okay, switch keybind. Left cast is left Control A, right cast is left Control D. Now let's see. So if I press left Control A, now I have selected my left cast on my screen. Now what you can do is hit the left Alt Q, which is to cycle your MFD page. The same for the MFD cast. So left Alt Q. Now you can see I'm actually switching the page for my MFD cast, but somehow it doesn't work very well because some page it doesn't show. What it shows is only my self status and your target status for whatever ship you're targeting. But right now I can't test that because I am a wanted criminal. When you target an enemy ship, you will also see a MFD cast on the top right corner of your screen. It shows the target status. So by pressing left Control D, you're actually selecting the right MFD cast. And then you use left Alt Q and left Alt E to switch the page for that right MFD cast. Oh boy, if there's anybody still watching this video. So that's all for the keybinds for the MFDs. Wow. So one thing is, if you mess up with your keybind, you can have something like this. I just pulled my gun out by some kind of keybind, and I'm shooting at my own ship. I'm not shooting the weapons on my ship anymore. I'm shooting my gun. The next set of new keybinds are for your flight power section. This is for your power management. This is nothing new, but the power management is something new. So we need to set the specific keybind for easy power management. And this is very easy now. I just show you the keybind that I'm using. So I'm setting the increase engine with one tap is up arrow, and the same up arrow I'm also giving to set engine power to max, hold. So one tap increase and hold it, the same keybind to set it to max. Same for the shield. For increase shields, right arrow and set it to max, the same keybinds when holding. Same thing for the weapon. One tap, left arrow, set to max, hold, left arrow. And reset assignment is down arrow. This keybind system is very similar to the power triangle we're using in the current PU. So giving full power to engine, hold, up arrow, full power to engine. And then down arrow is to reset. And right arrow is giving full power to shield. Now full power to shield, down arrow to reset. Left arrow is giving full power to weapon, and then down arrow to reset. Very simple and very easy. However, if you want to manage it pip by pip, then you would need 7 keybinds for it. So I set this on my joystick. One keybind for tap, the same keybind for hold it to set it to max, and another keybind to tap for decreasing, and the same keybind for holding to minimize. And the same thing for engine, shield, and weapon. So what this does is you can manage it pip by pip. For example, if I'm giving 1 pip to engine, just tap it or hold it to give full power to engine, or lower 1 pip from engine. Tap it to lower 1, lower another 1, or I can hold it to set my engine power to minimum, or weapon power to minimum, or shield power to minimum. But know this, if you're decreasing any power or setting any power to minimum, the extra power that released from that system will not be automatically assigned to other systems. So for example, I'm lowering my shield power. Now I have 6 extra pips of power. Now I need to manually reassign them to other systems. So this is more detailed power management. Especially in a big multi-crew ships, you need to manage other aspects of power, such as coolers, radar, life support, or quantum drives. Maybe we're gonna have more systems coming online as the game develops. So that's more detailed way and keybinds to manage your power. And then this is it. If there's anything I missed you think we should edit, please feel free to do so. And if you have stayed the entire video, whether you're confused or not, you are truly heroes. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.